Good morning. Welcome back into Wake Up America. I'm Rob Finnerty. The House Judiciary Committee will finally address the big tech problem that's been plaguing this country, suppressing free speech, canceling conservative voices, and maybe most important recently, suppressing information about the coronavirus, its origins, lockdowns, vaccines. Joining us now for more on this is Wisconsin Congressman Scott Fitzgerald. Congressman, good morning. Nice to see you again.
Good to be with you, Rob. Good to be with you again.
Congressman, big tech, they basically control political speech in this country right now. They continue to suppress what the American people have access to. I don't think most people are aware of that. But take us through where you are right now with sort of starting the process of maybe breaking up big tech.
Yeah, it's going to be a big day in judiciary. We have been kind of talking about this and strategizing for a while now. And today it's kind of all coming to a head in that committee. And Congressman Jim Jordan is very adamant that we kind of focus on, there's 6 different bills that are going to come up today. And we're going to focus the majority of our amendments on making changes that, unfortunately probably won't have a direct effect at the end of the day. But we want to make the case that, this is unelected antitrust bureaucrats that are driving the train. And as you just phrased, I mean, we still have this cancellation of conservative viewpoints that's been going on for some time. And these 6 bills are kind of aimed at that issue.
Yeah, and the suppression of information that, we're getting information every day that points to things that I don't think the American people knew. The origins of the coronavirus. We've learned a lot about hydroxychloroquine. If you said that word on TV before, it would go to black immediately, if you said that 15 months ago. We're learning more and more. Your colleague Jim Jordan was on Newsmax yesterday talking about censoring the censorship of big tech and what's been going on over the last year and a half particularly. Take a listen.
Big tech is out to get conservatives. Big tech has proven that time and time. We got the sitting president of the United States taken off of every single social media platform. So unfortunately, the legislation that the Democrats are bringing forward tomorrow doesn't address that problem. What it does, in my judgment, is it marries up big tech with big government to further to exacerbate the problem, to make the problem even worse. And that is our concern. What we need is legislation that will address the censorship issue, address the fact that they got liability protection, these big tech companies. That's the kind of legislation we need, and that's what we're working on as Republicans.
Okay, so, Congressman, when it comes to breaking up these companies, like we did a century ago with companies like Standard Oil, the railroads, should companies like Facebook be forced to sell off Instagram? Should Google be forced to sell off YouTube? Is that the direction? Or do we need to go radical here? Is that the direction we need to go?
Yeah, I think there's kind of a couple of different camps when it comes to exactly what the approach would be. And I think what you're going to see in these 6 bills that we're going to debate and discuss today, there are some that are a little more drastic than others. But what I would say is, and what I would caution my colleagues as well as anybody that wants to reach out to their own member of Congress, listen, these are the FTC and the Department of Justice that are now under control of President Biden. So they should be even more concerned than they were a year ago. And then the bills themselves, they do everything from venue changes to creating these slush funds that basically give these government agencies even more power. And that's what, when we're kind of in the room by ourselves, even the Republicans, there's divergent opinions on exactly what the approach should be, which is fine. I mean, that's a discussion I think that's going to continue. But action has to be taken on this front. There's no doubt about it.
Okay, I want to know where you are with the media and particularly big tech. Do you think that social media colluded with the legacy media, the more mainstream media, to hide information from the American people about the coronavirus? And do you think that was all in an effort starting 17 months ago to make sure that Donald Trump didn't win re-election on November 3rd?
I mean, I think originally a lot of us didn't know what exactly we were up against, but very quickly we saw that's exactly what was going on. That under the guise of the pandemic, there were all kinds of corners that were being cut. And along with that, the messaging that was being done nationwide about where we should be, how we should react, what government entities should do in reaction to this. So, no, you're on the right track. And I think when I talk to my constituents, I think when you look at the broader perspective of exactly, what was being done during the pandemic, not even getting into the direct conflicts with, what President Trump was talking about later on, Dr. Fauci continuing to spin. We're not even sure what the motive was. But absolutely, there was a linkage between social media and as you said, the big guys. There was no doubt about it that they were using the pandemic as a guise to make these changes.
And it seems like they still are. Congressman, quickly on the coronavirus, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, he released, and this was fascinating, an 8-pillar plan to hold China accountable for the pandemic. The Biden administration, they bought themselves some time, 90 days. Eventually, we're going to hit that 91st day, and it's going to be time to try and hold China accountable, even if they continue to stonewall any investigation into the origins. Do you think that the Minority Leader is on the right track and some sort of sanctions package is ultimately what's going to end up happening when it comes to China?
Absolutely. Leader McCarthy's list includes a lot of the things that the conference has been talking about. And then beyond that, my biggest concern still is China and stolen data. I mean, we continue to see that we have no control over the influx of Chinese proportional kind of judgment on where America is and do we have the protections in place. And I think, we're very vulnerable on that front. And that's one of the points that Leader McCarthy makes in his 8-point plan.
Well, Congressman Fitzgerald, we appreciate you coming on with us. I appreciate you beginning this fight today. I think even people that don't watch Newsmax and maybe don't watch, maybe they're watching CNN this morning or MSNBC, that's fine. They don't know that what you are trying to do is actually going to help them, because ultimately this means more information available to the American people through big tech, through social media, and all the different platforms that people use these days. So thank you for that. Keep us posted.
We're going to be going all day and probably late into the night, but these are important topics and they need to be exposed so that people know what's going on.
Thanks again, Congressman. We'll see you again.